Going through step 3, we are going to discuss importance of fasted state exercise and tracking your progress. As we discussed in my video part 1 about right diet and planning, we should be in fasted state in order to achieve time-efficient fat loss. To maximize our potential while being in a fasted state, we should combine two major steps together, adding a workout regimen into our weekly routine. For optimal workout of choice, you should be looking at high intense interval training or moderate intensity continuous training. As a result of low glucose and insulin levels, additional exercise while fasted should theoretically boost our system to burn more fat, preferably after being fasted for several hours. According to systematic review by Viewage Michael et al., whether we choose high intensity interval training or moderate intensity continuous training, both show significant reduction in whole body fat mass and waist circumference. Study participants who went through exercise training interventions with minimum 4-week durations and above resulted in reductions of body fat with averages of approximately 1.44 to 2.1% of whole body fat. When comparing both exercise types, there were no significant differences between HIIT and MICT for any body composition measure. However, HIIT required 40% less training time commitment. Therefore, we will focus on HIIT exercise only to achieve results as soon as possible. Long story short, HIIT or high intensity interval training is a form of cardiovascular interval exercise strategy with short periods of intense activity at around 85 to 95% of our maximum heart rate, combined with passive or active recovery periods, performed until we are too exhausted to continue. By default, during recovery time periods, we can rest or perform light to moderate exercises at 50 to 75% of maximum heart rate to continue burning calories. Because HIIT training is very taxing for your body, you should definitely not attempt it every day, letting your body get needed recovery time to avoid wear and tear of your muscles and joints, especially if you are just starting up. For example, do 1 to 3 sessions per week, with 3 as the absolute max. The idea of HIIT training is that you bring everything you've got to go full out on these work intervals. That is around 15 to 25 seconds per session of max effort until you are fully fatigued and unable to do the exercise at peak performance. Once you feel you have replenished your energy during rest period, you start doing intervals again from just a few to 15 or more, depending on your current physical abilities. If you're just a beginner, start slowly. The work to rest ratio can vary from 1 to 1, for example 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, to 1 to 4 or more. But no matter how long you rest, the key is that you bring everything you've got to your intervals. Keep in mind that if you want to gradually intensify your workout and achieve progress, you should alter your regimen. You can do that by increasing the number of sets, number of reps, intensity, or simply duration of work intervals. How important is it to perform at high intensity? According to studies by Troy Purdom and Daniel Carey et al., the highest regulation and utilization of fatty acids, known as maximum fat oxidation, occurs primarily at exercise intensities between 45 and 65% of maximum rate of oxygen consumption, or VO2 max. When we focus on optimal heart rate, we want to get into the fat burning zone. Fat burning zone starts already at 50 to 70% of maximum heart rate. However, to lose more fat, not only during exercise but also after it, we want to reach anaerobic territory where your glycogen stores are depleted faster than they can be replenished. That's roughly between 85 and 95 of maximum heart rate. This is where the afterburn kicks in, also known as excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. That means that your body continues to burn calories even multiple hours after your workout is completed, and the more intense your workout is, the more EPOC you likely have. Along with elevation in metabolism, we also experience increases in oxygen consumption, which is required to help the body restore and return to its pre-exercise or resting metabolic state. That triggers mechanisms like resynthesis of glycogen and simultaneously lactate removal, reoxygenation of myoglobin and hemoglobin, plus tachycardia and tachypnea, which results in massive energy expenditure. If you will consider doing high-intensity interval training as your fat loss routine, you have a lot of options since you can use almost any cardio exercise in form of high-intensity workout. Among most effective, you should definitely consider, for example, running sprint exercises versus bike sprint regimens. If you like high-intensity whole-body exercises that include stationary workout for short bursts of time like Tabata, you should try the combo of burpees, mountain climbers, high knee running, and jump squats. You can also do equipment-resistant training with barbells or kettlebells, battle ropes, sled pushing, and rowing. Keep in mind not to over-exaggerate with any of exercises in order to keep your fitness and steady progress. In the next part of Major Step 3, we must emphasize the importance of progress tracking and long-term goals. It can be very demotivating to exercise and eat a healthy diet only to see the number on the scale to stay the same. However, just because your body weight isn't changing doesn't mean that your hard work isn't paying off. Especially if you are exercising, your body composition may be improving. Body composition refers to everything in your body split up into different groups. Two groups which are commonly used are percentage of fat mass and fat-free mass, consisting of muscles, bones, and water. A large part in making progress and following your plan comes through regular assessment with few useful methods. One of them is tracking your body's circumference, also taking weekly or monthly pictures of progress, and most important, weighing yourself on devices that measure body composition with bioelectrical impedance analysis. According to study by Stephanie Lynn Painter et al., self-weighing correlates with successful weight loss and has been shown to significantly increase weight loss success in the first 6 months of intervention. Although we won't lose weight just by weighing ourselves, it definitely helps with ongoing progress. In order to maintain and keep track of your weight loss, you should always weigh yourself at the same time and take note to acknowledge your progress. After a week, you should assess your weekly weight average, and after 2 or 3 weeks of weight loss program, you should measure the outcomes by looking at weekly averages. You can also weigh once per week on the same day, otherwise results may vary because of excess fluids and other biological factors. Self-monitoring and using activity fitness tracker with a set goal is associated with lower body mass index and greater outcomes following a weight loss regimen. Also, logging at least 1 food entry per day and using calorie intake apps like Lose It and FatPal is a great way to track your precise calorie consumption within each meal along with macronutrient levels. Accept slow incremental progress to reach your goal with reasonable timeline and weight loss by not forcing but embracing the new lifestyle. In the next and final part of our video, we'll break down Major Step 4 for fast fat loss to complete the series.